Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. We've been so busy with our projects. There's a few things that we haven't been able to do. We're going to kind of go over that with you guys right now. But first, a big item for building the Philippines, the little things in life. Take a look right here. External mics. It's about time, and I don't know why we didn't buy them so much sooner. So many people said that these type of mics don't sync with Samsung, and that's what we use. We use Samsung products. And even when you look on like Lazada or Shopee, it does have an asterisk there and talks about that some Samsung phones won't sync. So that's really the reason why I haven't invested. So I finally said, you know what? I'm just going to go buy it. They're not that expensive. If it doesn't work, we'll just give it away to somebody or throw in the garbage. So we ordered it. Of course, it took a while because it came from China. It took about 3 weeks to get here. But I hooked it up, I charged it, and it automatically synced. I mean, it was the easiest thing in the world.
Yes, it works good.
Yeah, it works really good. So we did a test. And it sounded very good on the playback. So you guys can comment what you think. And that's going to change things up a little bit, especially when I'm interviewing people or I'm on a work site like Sandy and Ellen, for example. When I did a video of their house and, Sandy and Ellen were talking, I had to get as close as I could. And the sound is just not the same because I'm right next to the phone and they're, 10 feet away. So now we can just put this mic on their person, and we should be able to hear that guest clearly. So you saw in a previous video that we ordered Starlink.
Finally.
Yeah, and special thanks to my friend Jeff, who's been on the channel. If you look in the playlist, I'm a 10%er. I interviewed him. He really got me over the goal line. So, Jeff, thank you. I just been dragging my feet, ordering it. And I'll tell you why. The fiber line that runs up this mountain does work well. We get decent Wi-Fi coverage. But the problem is when it's out, it's out.
It's out.
And if there's a storm and a tree limb falls, or whenever the electric company does clearing, where they clear the lines, unfortunately, they cut the lines, and that's what the company said. It just happens. And then, of course, once in a while, people down the road decide to climb up the pole and cut the lines, and it's happened a lot. And that's coming from, again, the owner of the company, where they have a lot of issues and they're trying to remedy that. So when it is working, it works.
It works pretty good.
But if it gets cut, say, on a Friday afternoon or a tree limb falls, you're out till Monday. So, there's been occasions where we've had 1 to 2 day outages, and it's just difficult, especially when you have a channel. But to have no Wi-Fi service is just frustrating for at least a Westerner, for a foreigner, and you as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. So we went ahead and invested in Starlink, and I will do a separate video on that. But it was just so simple to hook up. It was operational in 10 minutes. And you can see what type of megabits per second that I'm getting right now. So you can see that it's definitely well worth it. It's 2,700 pesos per month, and the system, the entire system, is 28,000 pesos. So that's a one-time fee. That's for the satellite dish, all the wire, as well as the router itself. And it's working great. So now that is spurred on another project. So I have to climb up on the roof and mount this, the actual dish on the roof. So I have the perfect spot for it. So that's a little bit of work. And then we're going to have to drill through the roof because I do not like to see wires. So we're not going through windows or through walls or anything like that. We're going to go straight up right here in the main room because that's where the main line runs for our mesh system. So we bought an adapter that you can buy at the shop on Starlink that you can hook the router to your mesh system. So it comes with one router, so it's great in that room. And so we have it in this room right now, and it's great, 157 as you saw. And it goes out the glass to the pool area pretty good. But when you get to the carport, it starts dropping off. Well, because it's going through several walls. So my mesh system starts right here and goes out to various areas of the home. And that was Prince's foot. Prince is taking a snooze right here, and he decided to move, and he just hit the camera. He's sound asleep. So I want to be able to run the main line right here to the main room, and that's where the main router will be. And then I'll just attach it to the mesh system, and then it will broadcast out to the pool, broadcast in our bedroom and in the back of the house as well. So that's something that we just have to take care of over the next week or so. I'm not looking forward to climbing up on the roof.
No, me too. I really don't want you to be up there.
Yeah. But it has to get done, and I'll probably take one of the guys and have him go up with me. I bought the silicone and things like that, so I'm going to do everything I can so there's no leaks. But it's just something that has to happen. So let's get out there and see what's going on with our dirty kitchen project. All videos start from here. Oh, we have to check the weather. See how still it is today? There is no breeze whatsoever. Look, not moving a bit. And it's muggy. This is a muggy day. So no rain last night. Always tell there's no rain at night when you wake up and the driveway is, has that white look. Could be some showers coming that way. It says 20%. Hasn't rained in about 2 days. So the first big news is you see the neighbors asked if they could take our wall and go up 3 courses, and we said that's fine. So their driveway, and I need to get over there and do another video. But they want their driveway to be up as high as their house. So what that means is where they're going to park their vehicle, which is going to be right here, is going to be about where that fence is, believe it or not. It's a very, very high pitch coming up the park. So I'll do a video on that. So they wanted to ask if they could go up 3 courses, and we said that'd be fine. So they're working on that now. They're using 10 millimeter rebar instead of 12. That's what they do, that company, that business. So below is 12, and then the 3 course extension is 10. But they are doing it the exact same way that we did it. They did the vertical that's drilled in, and then horizontal, and then tied with tie wire. So the exact same process. And then once they get all the 3 courses high, they'll build up the columns, render, and then we'll go ahead and paint. So let me do a quick zoom. They started down at the bottom. So the only thing we were concerned about obstructing any ocean view, and you can see it does not. And even when you come up this way and stand here, which is at the lowest point in front of the house, let me do a quick zoom. You can see that all it really does is block our neighbor's house down there a little bit. So all good. So that's going on today. Prince made a mess. Look at this. He must not be in a good mood today. He knocked his food everywhere.
So making good progress. So remember I said J Marketing is going to be here in a week or less. So that usually means 2 weeks, but I'm taking them from their word. So we need to get going on this. So the first thing we did today was we did not get a chance to sand all the rivets. So that was done. And I told them not to paint it. I'll do it. Just so we can get going on this. And we got some string lines set up. I'm going to explain the string lines here in a second. But you can see the molding is up. So I'm very glad we did it. So now we have molding covering all the joints, going all the way down. So just kind of dresses it up just a smidge. So now we can say the ceiling is complete. Ceiling's complete. And we're keeping him behind bars. So this was a little complicated because remember, this wasn't planned to close this off. So, you know, when they pour cement, it's never perfectly level. So obviously all this area here, all the framework has to be level. Well, let me turn because the sun there might be washing things out a little bit. So when the guys put in from J Marketing this framework, it's level. So it's very important that when we lay the tile, it has to be 94 inches. And J Marketing doesn't use centimeters, they use inches. So I had to get involved with the guys because they know metric systems. So we went from the bottom of this, put a snap line right at 94 inches. And we checked it many times, so right here. So you can see my hand can go under it. So that's plenty of room for mortar, the adhesive, and a tile. The top of the tile needs to be right there. And it needs to be level all the way across, level to the bottom of the frame. So that's very important. So then the second thing that took a little while to get us all three on the same page, the fact that they have this level, this is going to come down and it's going to rest on the concrete. Well, how do we know? And the answer is we don't. That this line of concrete, this 4-inch step, how do we know it's perfect to that? And the answer is it's not going to be. So what we found out is luckily it's right perfectly in line with the end of that column. So we got very lucky. But it's not here. And I'm going to show you. See the snap line right here? Look where the concrete ends. It's off by about 2.5 centimeters. So I'm glad that I checked that measurement as well, because when we put down the slider, what would happen is on the side behind me, it would be a 5 cm right about there. And then over here, it'd be basically flush. So the slider would be square, but this is not square. So we're gonna have to build up with cement here to fill in this 2.5 cm. And then what's very important is when we put the tile down, the tile has to come to this snap line, not to the end of this. I'm glad that we caught that. So that took some time to get the three of us on the same page. But now we will be able to have the same distance from the edge of the tile to the slider on this side and the same distance on this side, as well as having to be from the top of the tile to here 94 inches. I hope that makes sense. So once we get this right, and what I was telling the guys, this has to be right. If we're gonna make any mistakes, make them back there. So we're gonna get this right, take some time. What we also did was we snapped the line this way, all the way down. And what we're doing here, because this wall is not square to the house, we're measuring out 2 tile, and then we snap the line here. So basically, we'll have all full tile cuts on this side, and then just minimal cuts here. Should be none until we get past the refrigerator, then we don't care because it's up underneath. Let me make sure that I don't trip on these lines. The cut should start maybe over here, just a little bit at a time, but again, that's going to be up underneath. So we want the cuts to be here, and then as this wedges down, obviously the full tile will get smaller and smaller and smaller, and we measured it, the last piece over there is going to be about 8 inches. So this is where most of the cuts are going to be, and then keep in mind there's going to be a partition here, and this is where our storage for my tools, and we got like the Christmas tree, Christmas ornaments and stuff like that is all going to be packed in here. And the camera doesn't show how large this area is. That looks like what? I don't know, 8 feet, 7 feet. Turn this way, it's a long way. So I'm going to say this is easily 10, 11 feet. Maybe I'll measure it from this column to the edge. So this is a pretty large area. And we're going to talk about, doing things a little bit differently here to keep everything organized. So we're calling the ceiling complete. The walls are all painted. I also told the guys, hey, do me a favor. When you mix the mortar mix or the adhesive, tile adhesive, do it in the center. Try not to splash on the paint. There's going to be some, but there's going to have to be some cleanup like there was out there, but there was quite a bit out there. And there was times where they were, mixing cement over in the corner. I said, go right down the center when you mix your tile adhesive. So we're getting going on it. Working on this end first. Get it to dry, get all the tiles in perfectly in line this way, as well as this way for the slider. And then if they do happen to come early, then we'll be ready for them to install. I should have done an unboxing, but I've never done an unboxing video before. And when I see them, I usually don't watch them because they're pretty boring. But we got the Starlink set up. Everyone told me here in the Philippines that it does face north. And look, it did. Orientated itself that way. And the only obstruction that when I did the original setup was that tree. There was a little bit here, so I think they said it's 98% connected, which is, my understanding is perfectly fine. We got green lights on everything. At some point, I'll go through it. What we just did just to get it operational, we just ran it through. But I'm gonna work on mounting it. I believe I'm going to try to pull it as far forward as possible to get away from that tree. You can see it's not really pointing towards the tree. It's pointing up. So it gets plenty of sky. And we're running about 150, 170 megabytes per second. So it's running really good. And I was told that it takes about 4 hours for it to normalize. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to mount that up on the firewall, this firewall right here. So see this column, this very large column. Well, there's a firewall that runs right down the side of this room and another one down this room that sticks up, probably 4 or 5 feet above the roof, the metal roof, as a windbreaker, so the wind really doesn't hit our metal roof. So I'm probably going to mount it to that because that's the highest point. Also trying to get away from that tree over there. So probably maybe 8 feet from here, this beam that way, because again, it's looking that way. So this beam will be no interference. And then the trick is going to be, and this is not going to be fun, putting a hole in the roof and running this cable through. And that's going to be tricky for now. I just set the router here, just temporarily, just to test it out. But the trick is going to be, because this is where our Wi-Fi is. What are you doing, boy? You miss me? I was been outside for a while. So, going to have to somehow drill up through there, in behind this plastic. And Prince is jumping on me, that's why. My voice is shaking a little bit. He's jumping up on me. So I'm going to drill up through there, run that cable, which is not very large. Run it down in behind here, down behind here, and then come in here. Prince wants attention. There's the old Wi-Fi. And then the mesh system. What are you doing? Come on, give me 30 seconds. This is the old one that we'll take away, and we'll plug into here, and then we will plug from here into my mesh system. So the mesh system starts in the bedroom, so it goes from here through the wall to the bedroom is the first Wi-Fi mesh. Then it goes up in the ceiling, out to the pool area, broadcasting out in the pool area. So there you go. That's another project. First tile, going in the dirty kitchen. So this is a little more complicated than just going around a pool where it really didn't matter. Just because it has to all line up with the slider. Wow. Can't get any better than that. And then you can see the crisscross right on the edge of the tile. And this is just at the top. So this would be the 94 inches to the top. So it looks perfectly square, nice and level. Get the first one right, everything should fall into place. What do you see? The answer is nothing. The guys weren't able to make it in today. One of them's sick. One rides with the other, so when one's out, both's out. So it is what it is. We losing a day. They did get 13 tile in, so that's good news. So they'll just continue through. We were able to go to City Hardware last night and pick up some more tile, though it's another batch, so we're going to have to lay them side by side to see if the color's a little different, but we'll use them underneath the dirty kitchen. Where the granite top is, we'll put it all under there as cuts. And then if you remember, we're putting fabric, a curtain across the front, so it's going to be hidden anyway. So we'll use all that for cuts. But the guys aren't here today, so that gives me a chance to get a long-awaited haircut. So that's on the agenda, and a few other things.